and thank you, Margie, for that wonderful introduction. As you can see, these students came to play today. They came very, very prepared, and I would like to acknowledge there's so many soloists in that last one we had. Just give a wave when I say your name. Silas on trumpet, Gabe on trombone, Mia on tenor 2, Ryan on vibes, Miles on Barry, Ophelia on trombone. We had Genevieve back there on trumpet, Pierce, trombone, Aaron on trumpet, Harlan on alto, and then Dominic back there on the drums. Let's give them a round of applause. All right, so this next tune will feature Pax on tenor, and I think we also have a piano solo, is that correct? All right, so we got Marcelo on that one. Please enjoy Dexter Gordon's Cheesecake. another tune with a lot of solos. That was Prayer Meetin by Matt Harris. And again, just wave if you were a soloist when I say your name here. So we had Pax, we had Blake, we had Oliver, we had Winston, we had Gabe, we had Silas, Aaron, Malcolm, Lucas, Marcelo, Miles, Ryan, and Calvin right there. And then we're all led by Marcelo on the piano for that opening. So let's give them a round of applause. Tune here is Minor Mystery. I'm bringing a tune to you from Ellen Rowe. If you don't know any of Ellen's music, I highly encourage you to check out her stuff. She has music at all levels, so this could easily go for like a younger high school group, or even a very talented junior high group, as you see up here. But she has some really great writing, and I see her at the Jazz Education Network conference every year, and she works a lot with the Sisters in Jazz, where they put some of the top collegiate women players around the country together in this like super band and play at the Gen conferences. So anyway, check out Ellen Rowe, and we hope you enjoy our rendition of her tune, Minor Mystery. And we had a little trumpet battle here in the back with Silas and Aaron. So let's give them a round. All right, we have one big last tune for you. It's going to involve some extra instruments and percussion, and one of my biggest delights was, I've done this tune with bands before, and generally when you pull it out, there's a very odd instrument that is actually programmed in the third trumpet part, and it's called a virus lap. Actually, Aaron, could you just give us a little demonstration on that, please? And I have to say that generally when I pass this out to a band, you know, we're like sending people out on scavenger hunts in the percussion room trying to find out. Aaron came like locked and loaded with a virus lap? Yeah, he came with the virus lap. I was like, that is so extra. These students came so prepared. They brought all the things, all the mutes that they needed, all the mouthpieces, all the extra percussion. We got goma bells over here with Ryan. Can you give us a little taste of that thing? Yeah, you can tell our next song is gonna be really fun. We got shakers. Can you hear some shakers? So we got everyone playing some different things for this next tune. But I just want to say, I know that these students are so fantastic, and that they are so prepared, and that they are just at this most outstanding level because of the parents, and especially because of the band directors of North Carolina who do so much work. So students, would you give your band directors a round of applause for all the work that they're doing? For the band directors that do all the extra work that it takes to get students here and to get them the information and to make sure that they're prepared. That is no small feat, and this is just one of the 20 plates that they are spinning at this exact day for all the things that are going on in the state. I know that for any band director, especially at the middle school or high school level. So we are so thankful. I am especially thankful to Margie Harrison for inviting me here, and it's been such a pleasure to get to know the directors here of North Carolina and especially hang out with these students. It's been a complete delight. I've had a great time. I really hope that they have as well. We've been dancing and singing and playing. We got to know each other's favorite fruits. I mean, it's gotten really deep around here. So we have one more tune for you. And for this one, you're going to hear Malcolm on trumpet 3, but this will be our last tune for today. So thank you again so much for welcoming me to one of my favorite states, North Carolina. I've got a lot of family here, and can't wait for, hopefully you all will be able to go into the audience and listen to Alan Baylock and the absolutely incredible high school band that's coming up. And I know we will be seeing all of you in those bands in the future too. So thank you so much, and please enjoy Tiger of San Pedro. Thank you.